God. Ask God.
Hi, Scott. My name is Allison. I'm a private label seller out of Atlanta, and I have really enjoyed listening to your podcast. Thank you so much for putting the information out there. So I have started recently meeting with other private label sellers in my area, and we're considering getting together sort of loosely based on the mastermind concept, but just to give each other support selling on Amazon, do's and don'ts, shared do's and don'ts that we've learned. But I was wondering, it seems like you've obviously had a lot of experience meeting with other sellers on Amazon. If you have any suggestions for ground rules we should lay at the beginning of forming a group like this, things that you have found that worked well in working with other sellers, cautionary tales that you've experienced or heard of that we might want to all just have on our radar from the beginning to avoid potential conflicts down the road. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for putting the information out there that you do. Have a good day.
Hey, Allison, thank you so much for the question. And it is really, really a great idea of what you're talking about. And I'm so glad that you're doing that in your local area. I think a lot of people could do this. Meetup.com, you can go there and you can create your own meetup. I know Dom Sugar was doing that a while back before he even got associated with me. And now, I mean, every time that he does a little meetup, it turns into a massive meetup. But yeah, I think it's a great idea to be able to go there and support each other, give a little bit of a check-in. But you're right, there does need to be some structure, because what'll happen is you might get people that are brand new. You might get people that are seasoned and they're selling $25,000, $30,000 a month. And you might get someone that's even bigger than that, that's doing $100,000 or $200,000 a month. How does everyone get value? That's the question, right? So you might want to have some rules to get into the actual group. That might be rule number one. And that doesn't mean they got to be like really, really like strict or hard, but it will make it so everyone is talking on the same level or similar level, so everyone can kind of learn and grow from each other. Now, you might want to have two different groups, maybe one for new sellers and then one for intermediate sellers. You could do that as well. Or you can just say, you can come if you're a new seller and we're an intermediate group, you can come and sit in, but honestly, we're not going to be talking anything, or we're not going to really be answering any questions about, maybe how to pick your next product or something like that, or how to set up your seller's account or something, because you don't want to take away from the group. And, I think the other thing is depending on how big you make the group, you want to have structure as far as like how much time does everyone get to speak. So if you have a group that's more than 10 people, that's going to be hard, because then someone can talk for 25, 30 minutes each. And then depending on the topic, it can just go on forever. So you do have to have some type of structure, and someone needs to really, I guess, man that, or kind of like, stick to the plan. And sometimes, people can get upset because you're like, okay, time's up, we got to move on. But you have to be able to really have some type of structure. I think that's the big thing. Maybe you even do it where it's a theme for the week. Maybe you do a theme week where this week we're going to talk all about sponsored product ads, and next week we're going to talk about inventory, and then the next week we'll talk about something else, or maybe the month. Maybe you're going to meet once a month. So I think that number one, size is going to really determine how structured it can be and how much everyone gets out of it. You could also do it where you say it's limited to 12 people, and everyone, maybe every other meetup, maybe half the group, you kind of select that everyone gets, 15 minutes in their hot seat, and then they can ask the group a question, or maybe one sticking point, or maybe one win. There's a lot of different things that you could do, but I think keeping it simple is key. But I also think keeping it really tailored to very similar type of businesses, meaning not a newbie all the way to someone that's doing $100,000 a month. I think that it's going to be too drastic of a difference, and I think then especially the people that are doing 100,000, they'll stop coming, because they're not going to get any value from that. Other than, yes, maybe they like helping people, which I think would be awesome, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be the best thing for a group in a whole. So anyway, I hope that helped you, and keep me posted on how that works out. And again, anyone listening right now, you can do this. Like, you can create your little meetups, like have 12 people or at the most 20, come to a certain location, maybe once a month, and you're able to meet people and network, and who knows, you might meet a partner there that you guys can partner on a brand eventually. Maybe instead of having just your brand, you have a partnership on another brand, or maybe you meet someone that doesn't really want to launch another brand, but they have some extra cash flow that they want to invest, and you can work something out with them. Or maybe you just pick someone's brain about something that they just found out, and then they can help you with that. So there's a lot of benefits to it. I'm a big fan of meetups, and meeting people in person I think is really key. That's why whenever I visit a new city, I generally do a TAS unofficial meetup, and that's just for us to be able to meet people, but then also brings people together. And then usually people walk away just meeting those people that could be potential, resources for each other and helping each other, and just meeting in person. Like, there's no other experience out there in my eyes than meeting people in person and shaking hands and looking into the eyes and getting to know people one-on-one. So I'm a big fan of it. I say go out there and do it. Anyone that wants to do it, just do it, and be the leader of that group if you want to. And again, like anything, just make it happen.
Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com, and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session, and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business, so definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there, and some of it is really, really good. What I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business, and this way here you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.